Welcome to Civilization 5. I'm your host, City. Today we are doing my Piety guide. And how to do good on Piety in Civilization 5. So, before we get started, I'm using the No Quitters mod version 13. That's what this guide is for. So if you're not using that version of the mod, it's not going to be the same. In addition, I am doing the using a Hellblazers map pack, which goes with it. We're doing a Pangea, and I didn't change any of the stats, and so we're on and so the base stats is legendary start, strategic balance, plus uranium. And let's get started. So, with Piety, what do you need to go for if you're trying to win in a Piety game? Well, Piety's not good at a lot, but that doesn't mean it's useless. So your production's kinda iffy. Food could be better, because you're going to be losing a lot. Now to counter this, I like to get quite a bit of tradition done. But I'll get to that when I get to the cultural policies. I've chosen to place the Celts, because obviously in Piety you need a religion. I think Celts, if you have one unimproved forest tile, you get +1 faith a turn. If you have two, or not two, if you have three, then you get +2. So we only have two, so we're only going to get +1. Now this probably isn't necessary to place the Celts, but if you want to try and guarantee a little bit of the early stuff, it's a good choice, because we already get +1 faith per turn. Now it's also important, because Piety is so good at money generation, it's pretty useful if you're on a coast. You probably still do if you're not on a coast, but it might be better to go for something else at that point. Alright, so as usual when you start a Civ game, you go on production focus, and you personally select the tiles you want to use. Now, 2 food, 1 production is really good. That's like the base tile that you want. So that's what we're going to work. What do we need in this case? Well, scouts. Scouts are useful. You need to know where your cities are going to go. And what do you want for tech-wise? Well, the only thing guaranteed at the beginning is pottery, but you will need calendars pretty soon. So you gotta keep that in mind. Just because the way things take, I'm gonna go pottery, sailing, and then calendar. Get the calendar there, because you need it, because we need to build Stonehenge. That is one of the most important wonders in this game, at least for a Piety game, because it'll allow you to get stuff early. And with our first scout done, you decide what you need to do. Now, I am going to get tradition, so I shouldn't get another monument, because I'll get that for free later. So it's another scout. We need faith quickly. It's crucial we get that shrine. I'm going to put it in the queue, or just so I don't lose any production. You've got to make sure multiplayer to have an army. If you're doing single player for this guide, it's not quite as important. Just enough to kill our barbarians, which usually isn't too bad. Alright, so now it's time to found a pantheon. And your pantheon is important, but it's going to vary on what you choose. You want to choose what's going to give you the most faith in the short term. It's most important, but long term is also useful. So if you can get something like goddess of festivals and mystic rituals are great, because you get the faith and culture. But we don't have wine, sugar, spice, or truffles. We don't have cotton, silk. There are dyes up there, but we don't have them now. So it may not be the best choice. We're not really having much space for mines yet. That'll be later. Obviously we're not in a desert. God King only gives you +1 faith, so not the best. We got no natural wonder. There are lakes, but we're not working on them. And that can be good, but you're not really getting any production. Let's see, copper, silver, gold, iron, stone, marble. Now, obviously, stone's pretty common. Iron, you're going to get in strategic balance. But, you know, we don't have stone. It's not the best for us. Alright, now here might be a good one. Spirit animals is a good one. In general, because you're likely to have some of this stuff. And it's good for us. Therefore, that's one I will take. So now it's time to adopt our first policy. Now, what is important here? Obviously, we need piety. But I don't like going piety first. However, you do need one of them. Because it allows you to build Stonehenge. Stonehenge, like I said, is very useful. Tradition is great though. And the 3 culture in the capital is great as well. Whereas this only gives you 1 for in the capital. But we want to get 6 level as quickly as possible. So while we need the piety opener, I'm going to get the tradition opener first. Just for that 3 culture. Alright, now it's time for next one. Now I could try and build calendar now. Or not, try and build Stonehenge now. But you gotta see how much production is. So it's 123 production. We are currently at 9. That will take more than 10 turns. But it gives us a bonus culture, granted. So does that. Because we're going to get the culture building. But no, let's get the piety. Because it gives us a bonus faith. And it allows us to get Stonehenge whenever we so choose. In this case, you just need to focus on what's useful to you. So we need that. Now, theology will be important. But on turn 16, it's probably a little too early. But a good 4 cities is something that I would go for just because I'm going to get most of the tradition anyway. So I could continue going down piety, which is a viable strategy. And this will give you, obviously, +1 faith is good. And this is also good. So you know you got to decide here. Tradition is so good. And I like getting these 3. But you can also get this if you're really worried about Stonehenge. So I could try and get more culture. And this will help. We're at +7 faith. Which is pretty good. I like getting, for me, +10 faith a turn is what I like to get. Because that knows that you know at that point you are well on your way. Again, turn 31. You can go for theology. You can go for philosophy. Or you can go for this basic stuff. We're probably going to get philosophy. And then the basic stuff. Because we want a good Reformation belief, I'm going to go for this. Alright, and now, when you get your first great prophet, you want to find religion, of course. And so I got this guy by turn 35. That's pretty good. I'm sure you can do it quicker. But that's still pretty good. But now we can found a religion. And again, obviously symbol doesn't matter. So your founder and follower belief. Then your founder belief. Now, obviously some might say, oh, tithe. Because tithe gives you gold. But in this build, I'm trying to build as many holy sites. So instead I'm going to go for Messiah. Because that gives you cheaper profits. Which of course you want. And in this case, you need guruship. Because if holy sites are to be useful, you need some production. Because while gold is our main opportunity here in the future, it's not going to be that immediate before you get it. So, production from holy sites. Boom. I think it's about time to get Stonehenge. And we didn't get Stonehenge. That is a shame. But I wasn't really in a position where I could get Stonehenge easily. So while I found Stonehenge, it ain't the end all or be all. It's just a little disappointing. So now that you got Temple unlocked, it's important to build it. You got a production bonus, so you might as well. Okay, next policy. Reformation belief I like. Getting. But these things are good too. Still, let's get that Reformation belief. Alright, so now, with the Reformation belief from Piety, we had the first ones who have our choices. So, what do we want? Well, this is great for faith, from Grand Temple plus the other bonuses. Culture and science and food being quite important. We don't want this, because we have to use our faith to purchase things. So, no. Sure gives you happiness, but no. Jesuit education, no. Because again, you have to buy. Religious unity again. You're using it. Sacred sites, you have to have religious bits. We don't want that. Now, bonus growth can be great. It certainly can, because obviously, population equals science. Science is something you're going to hurt on. But we really do want money. Do you want a religious spread 30% away? If you had tithe, that'd be great. I'm not going for tithe. World Church can also be great because of the culture. But I think just because it's easiest for me, this is the one I would go with about 80% of the time. So this is what I want to focus on next. I want to go jump to theology. The reason being is, well, we get a Grand Temple, which, that's great. Especially the bonus we got for it. But the one we're looking for is the Hagia Sophia, which gives a free great prophet. Which means it should give us a holy site pretty quickly. If we get it. We just got our second great prophet by turn 53. And we were able to get this before anyone else got one. Got one religion at all. Yeah, there's still 3 left. This may not be typical, but it's great. So what do you want to do here? Well, more faith can be great, but there are other things to help you. Maybe you want to counter some of the problems with this strategy. Now, I don't like any faith purchasing. So I'm going to ignore stuff like synagogue, even though the 10% making buildings is good. But instead, religious community would probably be better. For smaller cities, it wouldn't, but it would still be great. Religious center, because you have happiness issues, like we do now, and that may be something worth going for. Because 4 cities will give you 4 happiness, 4 production, which doesn't seem like much, but it helps. Now, you could also go Holy Warriors, and this might be good before you get the money to purchase the units. And it can help keep you safe. But it's not what I'm into. Instead, for my second follower belief, I want to get Divine Inspiration. Because Divine Inspiration gives 2 faiths from National World Wonders. And we're about to get one soon from National. Then if you had Stonehenge, you'd already have another one. So that's why Stonehenge could be good as well. But we're not going to get that. So now we need another choice. So, Dalai Lama is good. 7 culture, obviously. We need culture. Pale primacy can be good if you get a lot of city-states near you. But I think I want unity of prophets because we're going to have a lot of holy sites. And if you're doing single player, unity of prophets can be really good. And probably even multiplayer too. It's a lot harder for them to shift your religion. And I'm going to get that, because I want that. And for this policy, I pretty much got what I want from this for now. So I want to get some tradition stuff. Because like I said, tradition is important. So monarchy or land elite. In this case, monarchy is what we need. Okay. So, with theology finished, we can go for the Hagia Sophia. Just something we do want. After this, becomes a little harder for me to say. Because more science is always good. We also already got the culture building. More production's always good. It's good as every ego, and so is happiness. Currency's a good one, and so is engineering. But I would say get those last two techs for sure. You should have lots of science by this point anyway. Well, I say that. I only have 27.